I think does it work? You hear me, right? Wow, it's amazing, really. The energy here is totally crazy. In a way, actually, I want to try new things. Like every single my presentation, I'm doing some like crazy stuff, and usually like cheering and a lot of things. But today, I want to start with the waves. You know, the waves do it in the stadium. So actually, like everyone from one side is standing up and like we're constantly moving to other side. Okay, and then actually we're coming back. The coming back is the hard part, right? So you ready? You ready? Yeah. So we start from here and go. No, come on, guys. Okay. Yeah. And back, and back, and back. Woo, no, come on, what? Yeah. Woo. Cool. You know, I'm here to share with you my story. And I was like for a long time, I was willing to do this presentation and actually to share the whole my experience that I was like doing in my life. And actually my story starts at the big American corporate. You know, I was for 3 years, I was a student, I was writing the awful boring C code and very long SQL queries and like very boring stuff. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot in the terms of like what does it mean to work in big American corporate with all politics and all the stuff that happen around there. And then I exposed myself for the amazing world of the startups, right? Building products, trying new things, new users, applications, web platforms. And I was so amazed, so I immediately quit my job. I founded the first startup. I successfully failed. You know, for someone, it's like it's enough for the first time. So for me, it's like I need to try another one. So I failed it also. And then I decided, like, okay, maybe I need to learn from someone else, someone that knows how to do this stuff. And luckily me, I joined a startup called Get. I was like one of the first employees. And in 3 years, we grew from a startup of 10 employees to the 1,500s, and from the 1 users to the millions users that using our product globally. It was an amazing experience. We did so many mistakes, we failed so many times, this allows us to create an amazing product that used globally. And then, at the moment when I felt, okay, it's enough, I learned a lot, it's time to go out. And I had one of my investors in my first startup approach me and ask me like, hey, I just met this guy, he has an amazing idea in genetics, so if you will join him as a technical partner, I will invest in you. Think about it. Investor that his money I totally burned my first startup suggests me to join his next investment. Why? Why did it happen? Crazy guy. And it made a lot of mistakes. And all these mistakes actually allow me to be what I am. To allow me to learn what does it mean to build a product for the millions. And here today, I want to share with you, actually, what did I learn? What did I learn from all my experience of constantly failing and making mistakes on various products? And usually story is starting like, you have this amazing idea, right? So who has here an idea for the best $1 million application? I think some of us, right? Everyone, I guess everyone here is dreaming about being like Tim Cook, or being the Sergey Brin, like amazing guys, they're doing an amazing job, right? So you start to write, you start to coding, you start to create applications, and you know, it's amazing. You're asking your friends to do the design, you start to create amazing architecture, right? Most of our here are developers, right? So we're using RX, and we're using Kotlin, and like we're using dependency injector and Redux and Dedux and dependency injector, like amazing architecture, amazing code. It's the most beautiful code out there, right? And then you're so excited, you ship it to the big world, to the Play Store, to the App Store, to the web, right? And everything is seems amazing. You talk with your friends and say, hey, I have this amazing product, will you try it? And yeah, of course, you're my friends. It's like, and I'll go to your mom and say, hey, ma'am, like, will you download my application that I just built? Or will you use it in my platform? Right? And there's also some random guys, usually we call them fools, that using our product. Yeah? So like, I call it triple F. And everything is feel good, right? There's the users, they use the product, you're like full of excitement, and everything is fine. But then, friends and family leaves you, and usually it's only fools that stay. And like you start to wonder, like, what happened, right? Like, and even more interesting, you start to wonder, why are those fools staying with me, right? What are they doing there? So everyone left, and by what they stay, and you go to your friends or to your family, like you start to ask them, like, why didn't you use my product? Why you didn't use my app? What's so bad in my web application? And you're like, yeah, you know, it's like, they will never going to tell you the truth because they are friends, and this is a problem. And of course, your mom is not for your mom. It's like, you're amazing. You have best things that you're doing, right? And actually, this is exactly what happened to me. I built the product, I failed, remain only with the fools. I was a fool, kind of. And it was like, what I am. So I know how to write the code, right? I'm a developer. But like, to running a startup, to build a product, is it about being a businessman? Is it about like doing customer survey, to talk with the users, user experience, about the design? And like, I always was like fighting with myself. Who am I? Developer? The businessman? At that moment, I realized that actually it's not about being either this or either this. It's actually about being, I call it owner. Actually, it's about being kind of product owner, right? It's like to wearing different hats. Yeah, I'm not going to dance strip here, right? Hey, it's always hard. So, whoops, spoilers. So, it's not about being developer. It's about to own the product that you are building. It's to be the product owner. And more than that, it's actually about building a product that will make someone's life better. It will make someone much more productive in their daily life. And this is the goal of what actually you're building. This is the main job that you need when you're waking up. This is the main job that you have to do in your startup, in your feature that you're building inside of your company. And more than that, when you understand that, you actually understand that it's not about the features. It's not about the code. It's not about the product. It's about the people. It's about the people that are going to use it, what they're feeling when they're using your product, how they use it. And when you realize it, it's not only about you, it's also the people that surround you. It's people that's on your team. Actually, this is the people that building your product with you together. It's the beginning, it's your friends that are doing the design, that help you with architecture, and then the friends that help you with the marketing. And even if you're working in the company and you're building some features, so the people that you hire you. And it even came, and like with the time when I was established my startup, start to hire people, I came with the formula, that in order to raise the chance to succeed in your startup, and you know, in statistics of success is less than 5% of startups are successful. Rest of fail. The rest will not exist after 1 year. So you have only 5% of success. How you can make it larger? How you reduce the risk, make the chance higher? By hiring what I call wow people. Actually, the people that will make a difference, the people like you that will care about the product, the people on your team that you will together develop a feature, and you allow everyone to be kind of product owners. And no, we are here in Ukraine. Like statistics said that about 60% are working in outsourced companies. right? So why should I care? Jonathan, you like tell a nice story, but why should I care about building someone else's product? This is what I do. I come to my work, I'm writing in code, and this is what's important. Sorry, but someone else is going to use the product. Someone else is going to get the fruits of what I'm building. Why should I care, right? And the answer is it will make you a better developer. Actually, at the moment when you will start to think only about the code and you start to think the outer world, when you will write your code and you will think about how this code is going to be used, who is going to be used it, when you start to discover actually who is the users, what's the reason why you build what you build, you will start asking questions, you will figure out there's out amazing world, and I really promise you, at the moment you will decide that you will going to be much more than just a developer, you want to be the product owner, everyone will notice it. Everyone will appreciate you. Everyone will will you to join their team because you will do the significant change. You're going to be the wow people at their organization. This actually what happened to me. Then when I joined Get and started to develop my own feature because I was so engaged with the product. So yeah, the obvious question is like, right, so you convinced me. I want to do that. I want to become the product owner. I want to be the better developer tomorrow, right? So what I start to write more code, right? And the answer is not. The more code you write, you're actually creating much more bugs, right? More tests, more testers to check, more confusion for the users because there's much more features, so what's your core value? There's a lot of things they can do before even you're writing a single line of code. And first you need to start with observing. Actually, I call it to be the fly on the wall. You need to observe what you're using and doing your application, not by asking them, not by going and like constantly asking like, hey, how are you using your application? How are you using Facebook? Nobody really cares, because what's really important is when you're alone, what are you doing? And you can do that with a lot of different free tools, like FullStory for the web, or TestFairy for their iPhone or Android applications. It's like you will get the videos, live videos, of where a user touched. What's the first screen that he showed? What's the button that he clicked on it and it doesn't work? The scroll that's stuck, or the screen that they don't get it, how to use it. You will discover amazing things. And then you will start to ask the questions. You will understand that there's a problem, and you need to solve it. And the question first you need to ask yourself is, who is your user? Who is the user? Is it male, female, where it comes from? What's his definition? And there's a lot of amazing tools that you can use for free that give you this information, like Google Analytics or Firebase Analytics, that give you the understanding of who are the users that are using your platform, or what's their interest, where are they gathering, what are they doing day by day. Are they developers, designers, maybe blue shirt workers, drivers, taxi? Like, who's your customers, who's the users? When they wake up at the day, they wake up at the 6 a.m. or they wake up at the 8 a.m. Or maybe they walk by night and then they wake up at the 12, and you need to change completely your user experience for that. And without these tools, you're like a blind Jedi. It's like to fight it with someone with a 6, so you can. Of course you can. But will we be good as a regular one? No. So at the end of the process, at the end of the discovery, you really need to grab a paper and you need to write for yourself who is the user, who is the one that's using your application. Really, what's his daily routine? When he wakes up, when he's going to bed, does he have a kids, he's a single, he's an artist, not artist, developer. You need to have it well defined on the paper. And once you have it defined, you need to figure out actually where they are, where to find them, right? What's the best way to hook them inside of your application? And it's applicable in so many ways. For example, in my application, right? So we are a platform, web platform for ordering genetic tests. So who are our users? It's the doctors. Doctors that the title is so important to them. To publish the case studies and all the medical stuff is so important. So will I publish advertisement of our platform on the Facebook Not so good idea. Like, it's more private space for the doctors and very sensitive for that. But LinkedIn, the place where they put all the case study, the place where they put their PhD, MD, MDD title, is the right place to advertise. It's actually, when we try the both platform, we see significant difference. About 2% conversion rate from the seeing our advertisement and register, and about 20% on the LinkedIn. And also, if you want, like, for example, if you want to advertise for the Microsoft employees, so maybe you need to put your advertisement on the Bing, since they're the only one that's using it. And then actually, once you have you have this definition of the market, actually, where are they hanging out, the critical steps for your startup, for your feature that you're working, is actually, what's the best niche for you? Where are the best users in this whole great big market? And for example, like Star Wars, right? So you basically understand that I'm a big fan of the Star Wars. But what's the place, the biggest place? Like, I'm a Disney, right? I own the trademark for the Star Wars. What's the best place to advertise new things? Like, to actually introduce new products. Like, I want to introduce new line of toys of the Star Wars, right? What's the best place for me to do that in the world? So some of you will say, like, US, right? United States, big market. It's like, actually, this is the country, the home country of the movie. But the amazing fact, that actually it's Venezuela. No one here even wouldn't guess about it. I either. Venezuela is actually have, in elder generation, 73% watching last movie. Amazing. No one really guessed, but this is actually what the number says. This is the best niche market for the Star Wars franchise. And once you have the users, you know where you actually need to hook them, it's time to hook them. Actually, it's time to tell them a story. I'm not talking about the features. I'm talking about the story. And there is an amazing presentation of, like, from the Simon Sinek that tell you about actually why, how, and what. That the story is actually, you need to tell why they should use the product. Not how you're doing, not what you're doing. That everyone is connected is like, why? What's in it for me? And once you know it, you need to tell them. And there's a lot of different stuff that you need to tell, but you don't have enough time for that. And average interaction on the mobile is about 40 seconds. Average interaction on the web platform is even less, 20 seconds. And 23 applications are used only once. So basically, you have only one time shot to do that. And only 3 seconds to impress them to stay in your application. So basically, 5 seconds, one-time shot to show what your platform about, what your application is doing. And once you will discover it, like you have, now we'll start to understand the problematic of today's solution, right? So there's a splash screen, right? I think most of the applications today using the splash screen, and like, what? You have this nice logo of the company, you have the background, but is it the best 5 seconds that I want my users spent in? Right? It's like, what? And why we put the splash screen? Usually it's like to load some settings, right, in the background. Is there any better way to spend 5 seconds? So another mistake is a sign-up wall, right? So you open the application, and this actually happened to us, my mistake. You see, I learned from that. Is the first screen that user is seeing is actually registration, right? Before seeing any value in this platform, any value in this application, you see the registration screen, right? So you need to fill the email, the password, the phone, to verify the email, to verify the phone, before you even can use. 5 seconds are burned. And then actually he able to see and order genetic tests. 85% of the users are dropping usage of application when they see registration screen. 85%. Wow, it's a huge number. Why not to show directly what you're about? And the techniques is to switch. Actually, I call it show directly call to action. So we just switch the screen. We allow them to order first genetic test to see what our platform capable of. And then we ask them, if you want to see the offers from the laboratories for your genetic test, register. Give us information. And we did the same for the web, called call to action. And we immediately saw increasing in conversion rate in 60%. Small difference, huge impact. And of course, there's a very convenient way, and I really like one of the Israeli startups that did it. It's called Onboarding. Actually, it's a very nice way, very short way to explain to the user what you're about. So they, like, if you immediately will look on the right screen, you'll see that 3 screens that say insurance, broker, instant. So what's it about? Buying insurance online. That's it. It's so simple. And the whole user experience is awesome. They even won the product hunt competition with that. And once you have all this, you need to measure it. And by measure, I not only mean onboarding process. I mean, you need to define what's actually the KPIs of your startup or of your future. How are you going to be successful with that? And for some of it's like number of active users, but I think it's too broad. You need to define much deeper. Like, for example, for the Dropbox, it could be number of files uploaded by active users, right? Now we have much more significant measurement, right? We have this key performance indicator that make much more sense. And for example, for the feature that I did in my startup, was like to bundle 2 different rides. So I was working Get, taxi company, and want to take the current ride and to bundle it with another future ride on the destination when the taxi will arrive. So I did this feature, and I measure it, and then when it came to the VPRND with the numbers, with the 40% of all rides could be bundled, they actually saved time for the users, immediately convinced them. I even didn't need to show him a beautiful code that I wrote. And then you need to tell the experience. So you have this measurement, now we need to experiment. You try on different stuff, you just separate the users to different groups, like it's called A/B testing. So it could be values, it could be messaging, it could be anything. It could be even navigation inside the app. And there's a different various free tools like Mixpanel or Firebase Remote Config that you can use. And then actually, you need to communicate the change, right? You need to communicate with the user. And don't, like, usually it's about exposing the content. It's not only just to send them the message, it's to expose the content. And like, there's various different ways to expose yourself, like indexing, and you can use like app indexing just to connect your application with the intent and tell the Google what you're capable to do. So when I'm going to search from the taxi from the airport to Tel Aviv, it's going to suggest this application that can do that, right? And use it right away. And then, of course, there is a send message, but be aware of that. That if you're going to send it, be very annoying, user going to install it. It's reason number 1 for installing applications that's sending too much messages. And also, there is a way to send it. So if it's urgent, it's a push notification, so email. If it's not, put it inside of your app or inside the platform. And also, there is a right device to send it. So if it's huge, if it's during the day, when we wake up in the morning, what we're doing usually? We take our phone, right? We're checking the emails on the bed, right? Everyone is doing. So if you want to send something to the mobile, this is the right time to do it, the morning, right? Or during the day, with sitting on the PC, right? We came to our work, we open the PC, so send it email, send it a long blog message that he able to read it. And there is like Firebase cloud messaging that he used did it for free. And actually, the whole process of observing, analyze it, who users, where they are, then you craft a story, then you measure it, you observe what happened. It's not the one-time process. It's the continuous process. You didn't need to do it again and again and again and again. And in startup world, it's called pivot. But I don't really like the word pivot. Actually, it's just a shifting product towards where are your users, the best users. And a very good example of pivot is YouTube. So you know that YouTube, before it became YouTube, it was online dating web application. So everyone was able to upload a video of themselves, like describe yourself. And it wasn't so successful. But they saw that some of the users trying to upload just general video of the elephants or horses, and okay, let's allow them. So they changed the algorithm that allow everyone on their account to upload any video. And the rest is history, including $1.6 billion acquisition from Google. And then you will ask yourself, cool, so I have this process, I understand it's very nice to build the features and do the stuff. But what if I fail? What if I fail? It's not so nice. What my colleagues going to think about me? What actually my friends? What my mom going to say about my failure? It's not something that I really want to be proud of. It's scary, right? But the truth is that everything what you are today is of your mistakes. When you first time try to walk, you fall. What? And then you start to trying to walk? No, you're walking today. So I beg you, do not ask yourself, what if you fail? Ask yourself, what if I'm going to succeed? Then, what happened to me then? If I reduce the chance to fail, how now it's looked for you? Is the chance of fail is 0? What are you going to do tomorrow? And then just do it. Thank you.